Good evening, world. Hey, so I was at the bank today after work. Had a little bit of cash deposited. I saw this man sitting as soon as I walked in the door to the left hand side. Is this old man sitting with a Vietnam veteran hat on and a mask like COVID was still a thing for him. And I immediately turned to him and went and shook his hand and said, "Thank you for your sacrifice." Not his service. And I was thinking of the Bible and how Abraham made Sarah get the finest meal to make bread and bake it on the hearth for passing guests coming through. And that's the way we should be as children of God. You know, the best way to get to know somebody, to know their culture, to know their family, and love them and listen to them, is to sit around the table and break bread. And I've done it in every country I've ever been to, even in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I've always been very interested in the local cuisines, and especially their meats. We need to let these veterans know that Jesus is there, and the war that they saw can no longer harm them, and they can come home again. And I said to this old man, "Thank you for your sacrifice." And we got talking about war and all that stuff, and how many times I had been to Iraq and Afghanistan and all the other places I've been. 30 deployments over 20 years. It took a big toll on my family and my body and my mind. But I told him, and he only did one tour, I told him nothing that I had ever done could compare to what you had to go through. Because I'll tell you right now, had it pretty easy compared to what I know from Vietnam, and I know from being in Cambodia in my naval career that it ain't no joke there. And the jungles there are crazy, and they do have very dry, arid areas too. Matter of fact, We Were Soldiers was filmed in the high desert in Northern California, and that looked a lot like some places in Vietnam. I let him know that I found through Jesus that war can no longer hurt me. Fear is a liar. And he looked at me, shook my hand, and pulled me in close and said, and I just stared him right back in the eyes, and we're both kind of tearing up a little bit. And he said to me, "Thank you. In all my years of having bad dreams and just bearing through it, I never thought of it as I'm not there anymore and it can't hurt me." And he goes, "God bless you, and thank you for your service." Whole time locked with my hand, and I thanked him again, and offered him any help that he needed, and he was just waiting to speak to a banker. Little acts of kindness for passing people, breaking bread with people you wouldn't normally break bread with. Become neighbors to the people in your neighborhood. Look out for them like you would hope they looked out for you and your kids. If we become a nation that loves our neighbor, we don't have to worry about the evil, because everybody has the cover. Trust in God. Make sure you know the people around you as well as you possibly could. And I know you can never really know anybody, but genuine love comes off as genuine love. Stay strong in Jesus. Keep pushing on to our Father. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your service. May God bless us all. One love. Good night.